small boats get much more attention and focus than they warrant in the pure statistical numbers. So, small boat entries are about 40,000 a year over the last few years. At various points, we've had net migration 900,000. It's still 400,000 a year. So, in terms of the overall picture, we get this distorted idea, and you see this in opinion polls as well. There are, opinion polls have been done which say that sometimes even a majority, but often of quite a significantly large minority of British people think that small boats are the majority of the people who are entering the UK. Whereas in fact, it's about 5% of the people who are entering the UK are on small boats. And so, there's that distortion. Now, I wouldn't, I would say that it's important to recognize that there is a clear distinction. People who enter on visas are entering legally into the United Kingdom. People on small boats are entering illegally. I don't think there's anything wrong with politicians saying they are different things. And we have a set of rules in place and we expect people to comply with those rules. And so it is right that we treat those different types of migration differently. I think the one thing that the government have got right so far is an understanding that there is no simple quick fix to anything like this, both on small boats, but actually on migration more broadly. And that actually, although it's less politically exciting and it won't grab headlines, chipping away at different areas is almost certainly the right way. If you want to, if you want to reduce either legal or illegal migration, if there was a magical solution, I mean, sometimes you sort of hear these. I mean, Kemi Badenoch was on the radio the other day where I think she said something along the lines of, "Oh, if I was the prime minister, small boats would be zero, perhaps not today or tomorrow, but within a few days or a few weeks." She basically was saying she could get it to zero very, very quickly. I think that's wrong. I also wonder why, if she has that fabulous plan, why she didn't mention it when she was in the cabinet, because it seems odd that she kept this policy secret. I assume that, it sounds very strange. But that's not how this is going to work. This is going to work. The way that you deal with small boats is you make a collection of changes that cumulatively will reduce the number of small boats. So, the agreement, for example, which I think is an excellent agreement with France, the returns agreement that they have with France, that isn't going to suddenly go, as we've seen, it doesn't suddenly reduce the number from 40,000 to zero. But over time, it will chip away at those numbers. Dealing with, as we've just seen today's announcement on family reunification, will somewhat reduce the incentive to come. So I think there's a whole collection of different policies that the government are trying. And I think that's true on legal migration as well, where, again, what the Home Secretary has tried to do is to say, well, actually, we can reduce numbers somewhat on the work route, we can reduce numbers somewhat on the student route, nothing dramatic, but overall, when you add up the numbers, you get to something significant. That's much better than saying, oh, I have some magical wand that can just reduce net migration by 100,000 tomorrow. They don't really exist.